Snapseed's big overhaul for Android comes with the new 4.0 update, which has taken a bit of time to get to Android after iOS got it last year. Though with recent iOS updates, they have tried to make the iOS and Android apps very similar in looks. Opening it, you'll see it looks a lot more fun now. After updating, this is the screen you see and all the new features mentioned. And also, you have the camera built into the app. After giving it full access, you have the filter section available for quick selection of presets. At the top, you can enable the Pro features with manual tuning of ISO, shutter speed, and focus available. You can move the slider left and right below to manually tune any of these. Double tap on them to reset to auto. You got also color themes for the camera. I'm gonna add a photo to edit now. You get a new docked menu at the bottom. As always, you can swipe right or left to tune and swipe up or down to select the menus. And you can customize the dock by choosing your own favorite tools to be displayed at the bottom of the main screen. You can remove and replace the tools and move them too. When you first open the menu, you see the new categories the menus are split into: Refine, Fix, and Style. Setting options seems more or less the same. You can see all the new tools stamped with the new tag. Let us now go into the new features. We have got the color tool. We no more need to go to Lightroom for this. We can change the hues of the color, saturation, luminance, and also increase the range of the selection of the particular color and spread the selection of the nearest hues too. The new bloom tool adds a soft, dreamy, and luminous glow around the highlights and bright areas of the image. It simulates the optical effect of light bleeding into dark, high contrast scenes often seen in vintage photography or with soft focus lens filters, creating a cinematic, nostalgic, or romantic atmosphere. Halation tool simulates a soft reddish-orange glow around high-contrast edges and bright light sources, mimicking a classic film photography artifact. It adds an organic filmy look to digital images by mimicking light scattering typically used to emulate nostalgic vintage or cinematic aesthetics. The new portrait tool has a ton of refinements. Other than different styles and presets, you can manually tune skin smoothing, brighten the eyes, increase the eyebrow definition, remove eye bags, which works really well, increase the clarity of iris, whiten the teeth, pop the colors on the lips, and increase the face definition with face spotlight. Skin option has more presets for you to choose, and if you have more faces in the image, you can choose each face separately and work on them. The Dehaze tool works similarly to the one in Lightroom app. This was recorded on the older version of the iOS app. You can notice the different styled menus, but all the sliders work the same. It's simple to use with just one slider. Drag left to add haze and drag right to remove it. On top of that, there are a couple of extra adjustment options that can actually make it more flexible than the Lightroom equivalent. As you can see here, it works especially well on foggy landscapes like these, bringing back contrast and depth without making the image look overprocessed. Let's try this on a city skyline with smog. By default, the Dehaze slider affects the entire image. But what if you want to apply it only to a specific area? That's where object masks come in handy. In this example, I'll select the background which automatically includes everything except the main subjects. Now, when I adjust the dehaze value, it affects only the background. You can reduce the smog for a cleaner look or even add more smog by using a negative value depending on the mood you want to create. The object mask can be very useful if you want to get more details from the foreground, like limiting the sun flares in this image. Making subtle adjustments give you the best results with not so harsh contrast added to the image. For this example, as you can see, the subject's faces are not so legible. It looks good, but if you want to get more details on the face, you can just tap with the object brush tool and it automatically chooses and creates a mask on the object, in this case the subject. There is a subtle difference here, but you get the idea. Here, I need to get the dehaze effect only around the faces of both these subjects. Here I go to the masks which were created and choose the earlier created object masks. Clicking on eraser here and erasing the mask on all areas other than around the faces so that the effect is reflected only on those parts of the image. Here, I'm working with an image of a backlit mountain covered in fog. If you want to add even more haze, simply move the dehaze slider to the left, which increases the haze across the entire image. Next, go to the Stacks menu, tap the three-dot icon and choose Apply Mask. This lets you control the opacity of the effect in 25% increments. Now, just brush over the areas where you want the haze to appear. In this case, I am applying it mainly to the foreground at around 50% value, which adds a subtle atmospheric haze without overpowering the scene. What really makes this better than the free version of Lightroom is the flexibility. In Lightroom, you can adjust the dehaze slider, but it applies globally to the entire image. If you want to push the effect further, you often have to save the image, import it again and continue editing. On top of that, masking isn't available unless you are on the Pro version. With Snapseed, you get multiple masking options for the Dehaze tool, and you can even stack additional dehaze effects on top of an existing one. This is just a simple example to show how it works, but it's great to have these options when you really need more control. Another great use case for the dehaze slider is removing mist, like in this waterfall image. By applying multiple dehaze effects, you can gradually cut through the mist and bring back more detail and clarity. Stacking the effect instead of pushing it too far in one go helps keep the image looking natural while still reducing the haze effectively. In the new version of Snapseed, the object mask option is now available across more tools. Even in the basic adjust menu, you can use masks to limit effects to specific areas of the image. In this example, using white balance, I create a background mask and then use the eraser to remove the mask from the foreground. After that, it's just a matter of adjusting the temperature to get this cool toned effect. It's a quick and easy way to achieve the look without having to manually create subject masks. In the film tool under the style options, Snapseed now includes many more presets designed to give your edits an authentic film look, complete with realistic grain. These presets cover popular styles like Kodak, Fuji, Agfa, Polaroid, and even Technicolor. For most users, this lineup is more than enough to create stunning, film-inspired images with minimal effort. Snapseed has also got reversible edits. After the edit, you can save it with edits, and if you want to make more changes, you can always go back and tune them if needed. Let me know in the comments what you think of the new layout. We'll get back to you soon in my next video. Thanks for watching.